Hi, I'm Cheryl, and this is part one for 3 different cards. And this is the first card. This is this is going to be the sweet birthday card. And here's the inside. This one is your special day card, and the inside on that one. And then the third one is the thinking of you card. So this will be the elements to put together for all of those 3 cards. So let's get coloring on these. I've already stamped everything in Wisteria Wonder, and we'll be using Pear Pizzaz, soft suede. I stamped my sentiment on this scroll image. I already did that. We're going to use sweet Sugarplum also. Always artichoke. Where did I use that? Oh, I don't know. Not on these. Forget about that. And crumb cake. And then I have also the Stampin' Right markers. I have the Pear Pizzaz. Oh, wait, nope. Well, I have wild wasabi, excuse me. Crumb cake, Wisteria Wonder, and then I also have soft sky. So all these will be listed down below, things that you'll need. And then we also need some ball styluses. I'll be using this small one, which is just maybe 2 millimeters, and then a fairly large one. So let's get going on this. I have some sponges over here also. Ta-da! A whole little tray of them. So let's start with the flowers. I stamped the flower stamp 4 times. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to start out with the Wisteria Wonder. And let me just grab a sponge here. Now, I like these makeup sponges. They have very small pores, and it just makes the blending work so much easier for you. So we're just going to sponge that Wisteria Wonder. We don't have to have it even, because we're going to go back in then with what's the other one? Oh yeah, sweet Sugarplum. So it gives a little color variation in the flowers, but mostly we want the Wisteria Wonder for these. Okay, so we've got that all blended in, and you see there's spots. I'm just doing one group of them to show you. So let me put this aside somewhere so I don't put my arm in it. And then I'll go to the sweet Sugarplum, and I'm just going to use the same sponge because I've rubbed off most all of that color. See, that's another thing I do. I dab that off on my silicone mat here. If you don't have one, a piece of plastic, some plastic packaging, whatever you have, and just add some of the sweet Sugarplum in there just to get a little color variation in the flowers. Just makes them a little bit more interesting, I think. And then it blends in with that Wisteria Wonder, and gives us kind of a third color, extra color. Okay, so that's how we're going to do the little tiny flowers. And that is from, where's the stamp? That is from this stamp set from Heartfelt Creations. See, there are the flowers. We're also going to use this little spray from that, and then, okay, then from from this one, we'll be using the scroll. And then they have 4 different sentiments. Here we're using the Have a Sweet Day. Then there's a large spray of flowers. We're using that one. I have everything, I think, stamped from the entire collection on here. And the only thing we will not be using is the butterfly and the small spray of lilacs. So we want all of that. So here's this little group here is what we're using on our first card. We'll have a Sweet Day, this scroll here. We have that small floral spray, and then we have the largest floral spray here. Okay, and that's the one that has a little, it's got some carnations in there. We're going to cover those up though. We're just going to have lilacs in ours. So this one, and this one, that'll be our first card. Then for our special day card, we're using the umbrella and the kind of medium-sized floral spray. That's the little lilac stamp. We are not using that one. And then this is the big lilac spray. So you want all of those stamped out. I think you're gonna want to do all of these cards. So let's get moving on with our coloring. Now on the scroll, we're going to use Crumb cake, and I'm using the small sponge dauber, and get some ink on that, and I'm just going to shade that in. Get up in that little end there. I hope my hand's not blocking all of this that I'm doing. And then I'm going to, using the edge of it, I'm going to, I'm just going to add a little shadow there where the scroll rolls up, and also in where it's rolled on the edge here, on both the top and the bottom here. So I'm going to give that a little bit more of that crumb cake. And then I'll outline with the small end on the markers. I'm going to outline all of the edges, all the lines for the scroll. See, just like so. I'll be finishing that up later. So then for the flowers, then we're going to go, we'll use our Wisteria Wonder for that. And let's see, where'd that sponge go? There it is. And we're just going to go in and sponge in there over all those flowers. And this is how we're going to be doing all of these flowers. So okay, and then wherever I see a leaf, I'm going to take my Wild Wasabi marker, and I'm going to outline that with my Wild Wasabi and do the veining. Just wherever there's a line from the image, I'm going to outline that like so. And there's another one. I've got one coming out here. Okay, there's another little one down here. And do the veining on them. And just all of the leaves I can find. And I think I got them all. And then either with one of the sponge daubers, or if you're using the makeup sponges, these have a nice little pointy end on them. So with the Pear Pizzaz, I'm going to ink up the little pointy end I'll dab that off to work that in the sponge a little bit so there's no harsh lines. And I'll just go back in and just a little dab of green on there. And if you get outside the lines a little bit, that's okay. That'll be fine, because we're going to die cut these anyway, so all that's going to disappear. So that's how I did the coloring on these. All of these will be the same. You just put your Wisteria Wonder, blend that in over the flowers, and wherever you see a leaf, these leaves and these swirly things, you'll outline that with the Wild Wasabi marker. And the only other one that's different is the umbrella. And for the umbrella, I just used the crumb cake marker. I used the painterly tip like this one, like this, and I just colored in the handle and the little end here. And then with the soft sky, again using this painter type tip, I just colored in everywhere that the umbrella shows on here. Just like this. And I didn't do any special shading on this or anything. I just filled that in real well. And I went over it once, and then I went back over it a second time, just to make sure there were no streaky lines. And sometimes with the markers you can get a streaky line on it. But just like this. So that's a little something different on this one, too. Okay. Then, okay, we're going to go back to this one. Just to add a little bit more to it, make that pop, with the painterly end, I just went back and where all the little tiny flowers, see all these little tiny bits, not these larger ones, but all these little tiny bits here, I just went back in and I just stippled. Stippling just means putting dots. With my Wisteria Wonder. And I just kind of dotted an outline around these larger flowers. And just added just some little dots. There's some there. Just some little dots. And that gives it, it looks like shadows in the clusters of these small flowers. And I think that it just really makes this look a little nicer. Okay, so that's how we're going to do the flowers. You're going to do that with all of these. Okay, so blend with your Wisteria Wonder, blend with your Pear Pizzaz, and on the leaves, wherever there's a leaf, whether it's a little leaf or a big leaf, wherever there's a swirly thing, then use your Wild Wasabi marker and go back over those. Okay, so I'm gonna finish coloring these, and I'm gonna die cut them, and I'll be right back to show you how to do the shaping on these. So I'll see you in just a little bit. Well, I'm back, and I have everything colored in and die cut, and it's time for us to do some shaping. Let's start with the little flowers. So I'm going to show you how to do that with the Lush Lilac shaping mold first, because that is definitely the easiest way to do this. You just take your little flowers, just lay them in, and you can do 2 or more in each of these wells, 2 or 3 in each of these wells, but I tried that and it worked. It worked, but they were stuck together, and so then I had to peel each of them apart. And so I find that it's just as easy to just do them in a single layer, and you place them with the stamped side down, the stamped and colored side down, so only little white flowers should show in your mold. And this does do quite a few at a time. So let me get one more in there. Oh, let me do one. I'll do this one up in this corner here with 2 in it. And let's see, where did my spritzer go? I covered it up. I'm going to give that a light spritz with my Stampin' Spritzer. Put the top of the mold on, and there's only one way you can put this on. It has these little feet here on the corners of 3 sides, and you just use your 2 cutting plates. You don't use a base plate, and that's your sandwich. You put a cutting plate, your shaping mold, and another plate, and I'll just run that through my Big Shot. Bring that out here. Take my sandwich card. And there's our flowers, all shaped. All of these are shaped now. You can do 20 of them at a time. Now, this is the one that had a double flower in. And you see, look, I have to peel it apart because they stick together. And that, see, that's a little bit too fiddly for my liking. So I would say just do them one group at a time. So let's get these all out of the mold. Such a nice detailed mold. Okay, got them all out. I'll put my plate aside. And then we're going to take our stylus with the small ball on the end. I'm going to use this one right here. Now, if you don't have these ball styluses, when I started out, I had a skewer, and I rounded the point off and used that. So you could do that also if you don't want to invest in this. And I'll actually show you with this one. And we're just going to press down real good in the center, give it a little wiggle, move on to the next flower. I'm going to press down, give it a little wiggle, and so on and so on. And just do all our little flowers like this. Now, if you stamp 4 sets of these, that's going to give you plenty to do all 3 of the cards I'm going to be demoing. So, I'm going to start out with the Sweet Birthday one, and I'll have the link for that below. And then as I video the others, I'll do those also, and I'll post that video and then add the link below. Okay, so now, so I'll just continue to do that later. You get the idea. You just poke the centers. Now, if you don't have the mold, you don't want the mold, you want to do it by hand, you want to be old school about it, okay, just take each of your flowers. We're going to do these one at a time. Just give it a little spritz, and we'll shape the flowers by hand. And you just take your stylus, drag it from the tip to the center, to the center, tip to the center, tip to the center. Then you're going to turn that over, and then you're going to poke it in the middle, like so. And it gives you the same effect as using the mold, but as you can see, when you're talking a big pile of flowers like this to do, this is going to take you quite a bit more time than using the mold. And if you have any hand issues, you might even have to do it in 2 or 3 different sessions. So those are the flowers. That's how we shape these flowers. You put those aside. We're going to put them aside and let them dry, because once they dry, they get nice and stiff. And they're very sturdy for on your cards. Okay, so we're going to do some shaping on these. These 3 pieces are for the first, the Have a Sweet Day, the Sweet Birthday card. And then I also die cut the Birdcage while I was die cutting. Let me move this so that there we go. Get that up there better in the video. I also die cut the Birdcage out. And we're going to shape the Birdcage also. Let's do that first, because that's very easy too. And I just took something round that I had. Anything round that's about 1 inch in diameter. And I just took my Birdcage and just wrapped it around like this, because we're not going to go crazy shaping this. We're just going to wrap that around like so, and just make it a little bit rounded. And then just on the edge here, we're just going to turn these edges up. Oh, I see a little piece that didn't come out from my die cutting. Let me grab something here. There we go. And poke that out. One little stubborn piece didn't want to come out. And we'll do the same thing on this side. And just right here along the edge of the cage part, we're just going to bend those up. And this is all that's going to get glued down when we glue. So now our cage is ready to go. Alright. This piece here, this little bitty spray, that's going to go behind the Birdcage. This does not get shaped at all. So I'll put that aside with the Birdcage. And we'll go on to the scroll. You just turn that over. And again, I see a couple little pieces. Man, I was just so anxious to get back here to the shaping. I didn't check these very well, I guess. Okay, we'll turn that over. We're going to give that a light. Let me turn this one over too. We'll spritz both of them at the same time. Okay. But on the scroll, we're going to shape all around the edges here where our flowers are. Okay, you see on the front we have the scroll there. We're not shaping the scroll. We just want to shape the flowers. So we're going to take a pretty large stylus here. And it's just a little shape to it. And we're just going to go all around these flowers' edges. And down here. See, we skipped this part. That's the scroll. And we're just going to shape that a little bit. There we go. Just so they're rounded up. And you see, it's got some dimension now. But what we're going to do, we're going to, just like on the Birdcage, we're going to just kind of bend that up a little bit. Like that. Okay, so now our flowers are a little bit forward. And just gives it a nice little shape. Okay, now we'll do this one. And again, I see another little piece there. Okay. And we'll do the same thing with this. We'll just, all along the edges, just anywhere there's a leaf along the edge. We're not going to go out onto these scrolly parts, but just all around these edges. We're just going to give them just a little shape. Okay. Just like that. And then that has a bit of shape to it too. And while we're doing, let's I was going to put the dimensionals on, but I don't know where I put my dimensionals. Wait a minute. Ah, I found them. Okay, so while we're doing, we might as well stick our dimensionals on too. So let's put some dimensionals on the back of this one. And I'm not peeling the other side off yet. That will come when I do the card. And break down a whole brand new pack of dimensionals. And I'm just going to stick them in a couple spots on here. I think that's plenty. Maybe one on this leaf. Let me cut a little side bit here. And I'll put that on that leaf too there. So then that will hold up our flowers. And let's do the same on here. See, just I think right there is about the only place I can really get even a little piece of a dimensional. Let me cut off a little piece, and I'll just stick that on right there. And that part will just glue flush with the card. Oh, let's see. Oh, no, I can put some down here too. Let me cut a couple here from the side, and just put a little strip of them right there. Okay, so those are all ready to go on the card now. Let me put that over with the cage and that small flower that we didn't have to shape. Okay, now this one will go on the Thinking of You card. You do the same thing with this. Give that a little spritz. And with the large ball stylus, you just go all along these edges just to round them a bit. I'm not going to do, that's the stem from the front. I see some more little bits that I didn't poke out. You know, from the front you really don't notice this little detail that's in the die. Okay, so that's it, and I'll put dimensionals on this. And then that will be ready to go. I'll put one on that leaf there. Let's see, I'll cut a little bit here for this leaf. And then just put a couple of them here on the back side, just to give it the lift we want to preserve when we do the card. And then we have the umbrella and this spray, and this will go on the let's see, on the special day birthday card. So I will turn these over, give them a little spritz. And why do we use the water? It just helps to break the paper fibers down a little bit. And like I was saying, when they dry, then it's going to be nice and stiff. It's not, you're not going to have floppy flower sprays. They'll be nice sturdy flowers and all these other stamped elements. Okay, that's good for that one. And I'll do the umbrella. Now that, I'm going to go along the edge of the umbrella first. Just light. And give that a little umbrella shape. And then I'll just go and do the same along the edges. Just shaping that a little bit. Avoiding the handle. Yeah, I'm kind of poking it in places too, aren't I? That just helps to pop it up. There. Alright, and let's put our Stampin Dimensionals on here now too. Oop, have two of them. I'm keep going off camera here. There we go. Okay, so that one's ready. And we'll do the same on this one. And maybe a couple more. Right there. Do we need one up here? Yeah, let's put one. We'll put a little piece from the side up there. Okay. So there we are. So we've got everything shaped, and these are all ready to go on our cards. And I'll be seeing you in the next video, I hope. So all the materials that I've used will be listed down below, as I always do. You're going to need the entire Lush Lilac collection to do these 3 cards. But I don't think that's going to be one of those sets that you use a few times and you just put away, because these flowers are so, look at these flowers. I'm going to be using these a lot, I think, as little filler flowers. I haven't even gotten into any other color lilacs yet. I need to do some pink ones. And how about some hydrangeas? Look, pile them together, make a little hydrangea ball. I think that would be adorable. So this set, I think, is going to get a lot of use out of. I'm going to get a lot of use out of it, and you will too. So, as I said, as always, all the materials that I used will be listed below. If you want to shop with me for any Stampin' Up! Products, you can do that either through my blog. I have a blog now. I'm doing away with my Facebook page. And just having a blog, or not my Facebook page. I'm keeping my Facebook page and my blog, and I'm doing away with my website. So you can shop with me either through my Facebook page or my blog. And that's about it. So y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stampin'.